peeps, welcome back to Project Anonymous and another Craftmas episode.
In today's video, we're going to do a towel embroidery using a purchased design through ZDigitizing.
So let's get to it.
So ZDigitizing reached out to us to see if we wanted to collaborate on a video using one of their files to do our embroidery projects.
So the image we ended up sending to them is this design here, and they're going to be able to create this into a file that you can actually embroider.
Normally, we do all of our own file to embroidery process, but what are some reasons why we would want to use a company to do our embroidery project versus us doing it ourselves, Megan?
So the reason why you'd want to use ZDigitizing is really your limitations. So you might be limited on resources, software, experience,
time.
So that's why you'd want to reach out to the pros.
Today we're going to show you a file that we sent to ZDigitizing and embroider it using the PES file type.
When placing your order, you can actually pick which file type you're going to need for your machine.
We have found that their normal turnaround time is actually pretty quick, so unless you're in a rush, you probably don't need to pay for the extra rush fee.
So we actually have a special offer for our viewers where you can get 50% off custom design files from their website.
Yeah, just use MeganMike50 to get 50% off your order.
If you're wanting to try out their designs and you don't really want to spend money if you're still skeptical, they actually have pre-made files that are completely free for you to try out.
Yeah, so try those out first to see if it's the right process for you.
So while we're using their file, we're going to be showing you kind of the steps you want to use when you're trying to get the best results out of embroidering a towel. So should we get to embroidering?
Let's go. All right, so we have all our materials. We're going to use a stitch and tear stabilizer hooped into the 5x7 hoop. And we're going to hoop our towel as well and kind of center that away. And then on top, we're going to use a wash away stabilizer just to kind of keep the fibers of the towel from kind of poking through our embroidery, and hopefully we'll make it nice and smooth and flat. So let's get to hooping. What's really nice about this towel is it kind of has built-in grid lines so you know when you're straight or not. Though it's kind of difficult getting it in there straight, you can adjust it a little bit by pulling the sides. Tighten down nice and tight.
And here's our washing gun, and we're just going to put it on top of our towel. The design we got is probably going to be around this size, so we can just cut it here. And with this design, you don't really need to put this tape down or anything, because you can probably just hold it for a few stitches and then it will probably lock down. So when you purchase through ZDigitizing, you'll actually get one of these, which is going to be really helpful before you embroider. So you can kind of see all the colors you're going to need and you can pick them.
Yeah, and it actually shows the order of those colors and how it will stitch out, which is really helpful when planning how this thing is going to go. And it actually goes through step by step of what is going to be embroidered so you don't lose track of those colors, as in some of ours, it's kind of near the same color, like for the shading stuff. And you can get kind of confused if you're just looking at your machine, but this will give you the absolute order of things.
Another thing that's really helpful about this right here is if you're making this design multiple times and you're like, oh wait, maybe I should use different color themes, then you can see exactly which color you'll need.
Absolutely.
For each step.
And there's some cool statistics that show on this sheet, like your total number of thread length, obviously the number of thread changes you're going to do, number of colors. All of that kind of stuff is really cool to see before you go ahead and embroider your project.
You also get a bit of a preview of what your design will turn out to be looking like.
Absolutely. You ready to get to stitching?
Mm-hmm. So I don't know if you can tell, but on the gnome there's very few jump stitches because when they were creating this, they were making sure so they make the least amount of jump stitches as possible. But with the lettering, you can tell that there is quite a few jump stitches, and that's because they're trying to get the best gradient look as possible, so there will be a few more jump stitches. But otherwise, they make it as easy as possible to not have a bunch of jump stitches. See, there was like 2 jump stitches on the actual gnome, but there's quite a few on that text. Are you just cutting it so it's less work when you're running it underwater?
Yeah, this doesn't have to be done at all or perfect, but might as well cut off the excess. It's not that difficult. I think we have some pretty good results here.
I really like the shading they did. I think that's my favorite part.
Yeah, the shading is really nice. And the texture of it. The fact that they went ahead and changed the fill to different angles made it so it kind of shines a little bit differently in the different areas, which is really nice. Oh, this is tearaway, isn't it? And this turned out really nice in the back as well. All right, let's go wash this off.
So this is how it turned out, and it definitely turned out really cool.
Yeah, and there's a lot of detail in this that I was actually kind of concerned that wouldn't come through with a design this small, but I mean, it turned out really great. Lots of detail in it, so really happy with that. You know, there's a lot of dimension in the shading that they've done there, so it really turned out really nice.
So on this channel, we're all about cost-effective ways, and they have reasonable pricing. And if you're low on time, it's really nice to be able to just give it to someone and they just give it back to you.
Yeah, there is no way we could do this project with the excellent results that we got on our own within that short amount of time frame. It would have taken us a while to go through each of those shapes and, you know, customize it to get the right kind of shading on the gnome or the text and whatnot. So as far as for us, this was a good time saver.
But with all the little projects, you can probably always do that on your own. But when you have like a very complicated design like we had here, that's when you're going to want to use their company.
And they did a really good job digitizing for us, so we would absolutely recommend them.
So the design we have would be around $20, but it really depends on your complexity of design and how many colors you have. So you can always use a free quote if you have questions.
Yeah, we absolutely recommend using the free quote option when having a design that you want them to embroider.
Generally, the price of a custom design will start at $12.
Yes, don't forget to use our coupon code MeganMike50
for 50% off. Anyways, thanks so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. Please like it if you liked it.
Like it.
Subscribe if you enjoy our content.
Subscribe.
And turn on those notifications so you get my every single time we post a video. Stay crafty.
And be merry.
Bye.